which I made him throw up for everything, and they've slept together. What? Slamming our son against the wall and filing for divorce. Welcome to Catch Up Online. Oh my god, you did not need to come dressed up and looking so good today. Like, damn, you're making me feel a bit underdressed. I've been seeing a whole bunch of am I the asshole?
You think that's funny?
Am I the asshole videos on my feed, and oh my god, I love some unhinged stories, so I thought, why not read some with you today? Am I the asshole for putting a restraining order on my ex-fiance after he took our newborn forcefully from the hospital to his mom while I was still hospitalized? What? I apologize if this goes on for a while, but I kinda wanted to explain the whole situation. Also, sorry for the run-on sentences and improper grammar. New mom here without much sleep. I, 28 female, and my 27 male ex-fiance had a complicated relationship. Since the beginning of the relationship, I gave up a lot for him because one of my views was to be a stay-at-home mom when the time came to build a family, and I thought it would only be fair to do a lot of what he wanted in return. Woo! I ended up moving far away from my family as he asked and eventually got pregnant with his child. Okay. I wanted to say that we had a pretty toxic relationship before this. We would fight a lot about petty matters, but during those fights, he would lose his temper and throw stuff against the wall, and even went as far as punching 2 holes in our walls? Bitch, what? Drop his ass!
You deserve better.
The worst it got to was when I told him we were breaking up, and he swallowed a bunch of pills, which I made him throw up? During these fights, he would call me names and belittle my contributions to our relationship. What the hell is wrong with this man? I think one of the reasons why I stayed was because I loved him very much and knew he had some pretty deep trauma from when he was younger, which I related to in some way. Although he hurt me a lot before and during the pregnancy, I always stayed because I told myself he loved me and would never physically hurt me, even though there were times I was afraid he would. Oh my god, I feel that so much, and when you're in a relationship like that, it's hard because you do think that, oh, that's not them. That's just their trauma, as she says, that is causing them to act in a way. Oh my god. I had a pretty rough pregnancy and didn't feel well for most of it. I ended up getting inducted early because of the preeclampsia, and I had a pretty rough labor and delivery. Our son was in the NICU for a week due to having low blood sugar levels. So far, the first few days we cared for him in a hospital setting. The night we finally took him home was probably the roughest. He was pretty distressed from the change of environment and wouldn't stop crying throughout the night. We were both taking turns trying to calm him down. Eventually, my ex snapped and said he hated our son and that he wished that he could take him back. Oh my god, what is wrong with this man? Whoa. He said that as he was holding him, he pictured himself slamming our son against the wall and just wanted to act on it. Oh my god. I remember taking our son and telling him to calm down and that he wouldn't blame our son for anything. I tried telling him he was just feeling that way because he was stressed, but in that moment I was terrified of him. I did not sleep all night because I stayed up watching our son and my ex. Lord Jesus, take the wheel.
I was going to drive, but I decided to let Jesus take the wheel.
The next day, I called my family and his and told them what had happened. Okay, good girl, tell somebody. Everyone agreed on the fact that what he had said was wrong and he needed to start taking therapy for his anger issues. Girl, he should have started taking therapy when he started slamming things into the wall. That same day, I was pretty tired from not sleeping and was taking a nap. While I was asleep, my ex was trying to feed our son and started freaking out when he wouldn't wake up to eat. Panicking, he called his parents and told them of this. I woke up from the shouting between he and his parents, which they were telling him to take our son to the ER. I woke up disoriented and asked what was wrong, and he told me our son wasn't fully waking up to eat. I tried calming him down and told him he was fine and that he could wake up with a wet wipe like he had taught us at the NICU. Girl, I'm so sorry for my speaking. At that moment, his mother told me to shut the f up and that I was a terrible mother for not being more concerned. Nothing's wrong with the kid. She just told you what to do. They were just taught that in situations like this is what you do. Whoa. Upset, I stood up and took our son to the change table where I woke him up with a wet wipe like we were taught. Our son woke up normally and my ex saw that. He also saw I was clearly upset from what his mother had said and asked if I thought it was a mistake to have added him to the birth certificate. Are you, what is this question? Maybe like tell off your mother or something? I said yes. Girl, I mean, ouch, but fact. And that made him extremely upset. Then why did you ask the question? Excuse me? He threw the birth certificate at my face while I was holding our son and started banging his head against the wall in the other room. This story cannot get more unhinged. This man needs therapy, needs a psych ward. Afraid of what he could do to me and our son, I texted his grandmother to come over to calm him down, which she ended up doing. Okay, good, but what the hell?
What is going on?
Like, what is going on?
After all of this happened, to make matters worse, my C-section ended up getting infected and I had to be hospitalized again. Shit, girl. While I was in the hospital, his mother ended up visiting us from out of state. The original plan was that his parents, which live out of state, would come visit after the baby was born. I will say his mother never really liked me because of the fact that I stopped working when I got pregnant. But didn't you establish that with him, with a husband, that you're gonna be a stay-at-home mom? Besides, she does not have a say in your life. She always told me that I needed to contribute financially even though him and I had agreed to me not working beforehand. Exactly. Oh my god. When she arrived, she was pretty unhappy that the baby was staying at the hospital with us. She didn't like the fact that she had to drive down 30 minutes to see the baby. Eventually, she asked if it would be okay if they would take the baby back to our apartment for one day during the day. Apprehensively, I agreed because I wanted to be nice and appease her. You are doing way too much, love. You are doing way too much. The plan was that my ex would take our baby down in the morning and would come back in the evening after being done with work. After I agreed and she went back to our apartment, I realized she would have to drive us to the hospital so she could be in the back of the car with our son on the drive to our apartment since the car seat was too big and I was concerned for his breathing. I told my ex to inform his mother of this, and after he did, she called us completely hysterical. Screaming at the top of her lungs, she threatened my ex that if he did not bring the baby back to our apartment at that exact moment, she would call the cops on him and report him for the hole on the wall he had made on our apartment? Woman, what the hell? Girl, what family did you get yourself tied with? Oh my god. She threatened to take the baby away from us. Afraid at that point, my ex decided to take our son against my will. I screamed and begged him to not take our baby as he walked away with our son, unable to do anything because I was plugged into the IV. I called the nurse and told her to inform the security. Unfortunately, they couldn't stop him on time. Frantically, I called my ex and his mother and told them to bring my son back to the hospital with me where he belongs. Oh my god, what is happening? I begged and begged, told them that our son needed to be with his mother as I was trying to breastfeed him. I'm so sorry, this story is freaking me out. This is so horrible. Girl. The next day I decided to file a temporary restraining order because my ex refused to bring my son to the hospital and the cops wouldn't do anything about it. What? I feel like I'm saying what a lot. This is just such a shocking story.
This is a lot.
This is a lot.
With this, I was able to get CPS to bring my son back to me. He himself had filed an emergency ex parte for custody of our child and lied on the declaration saying I had neglected our son while being in hospital. How did she do that? When you're the one who stole the baby, when she asked over and over for her to have the baby. What?
Are you stupid?
Thankfully, because I filed the restraining order first, the ex parte was dismissed by the judge, and now the date for the restraining order is set for the future. Yes. I'm finally home with my son, recovering from this whole ordeal. A part of me keeps thinking about whether it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do! It was! Do not question yourself, girl. I still love him so much and I can't put it in my mind how he was able to do such a thing to me at my worst when I needed him and my son the most. I hate because this girl obviously has so much love in her heart for this man and he just treats her like shit. I don't even know if he loved or loves me anymore. I feel bad at times he can't see his son right now. But at the same time, I can't help but think how he and his family did not touch their hearts when they took my son away from me while I was in such a terrible state and needed my son the most. Also, the fact he filed the custody order to keep our son while I was still in hospital and made up all these lies just breaks my heart. Oh. I can only imagine a guy you have built your life around, that you have planned your future with, whose kid you have, does this shit to you? Girl, the fact that he did that proves he doesn't love you, okay? Proves he has ulterior motives, which is to satisfy his mother over your needs. Because let me tell you, once you have a woman who has given birth to your baby, your own mother, as much as you might love her, she comes, I don't care. She comes second place.
Facts.
My family tells me I can never forgive him for what he did and that if he truly loved me, he would have stepped up and fought for me against his mother's demands. Exactly. Preach. Every day I struggle with these thoughts and wonder if I could have done something differently. Am I the... Oh my god, you do not even need to ask that question because no you are not, ma'am. No you are not. Edit. I just want to thank everyone that's commented so far and giving their advice. I really appreciate everyone's concerns. My son and I are no longer in the same household as my ex and I'm staying with my family who is helping me while I recover from my C-section wounds. Oh my god, I am so happy that you are in a safe place right now. I'm so happy that you are in recovery. And I want to tell you one thing, girl, you are going to make it, okay? You don't need this asshole asshole by your side, okay? You've got your family, okay? You've got your son, and you've got yourself, and you are a strong woman, okay? Let's see what people have said. Not the asshole. You would be the asshole if you let your ex or his mom near the baby again. If you want to see his son ever again, talk with CPS about supervised visitation and conditions that he goes to therapy for his anger issues. Facts. You need to sue for full custody. Your ex is a danger for your baby's life. Imagine letting him alone with the baby and I'm pushing the baby against the wall like he did with things around. He is not stable right now. I'm so sorry if I read that incorrectly, but I try my best. But facts. You would be the asshole if you let your child back to him, and this dude needs therapy. I don't know if that therapy is gonna help, because how could you say to your wife who just gave birth to your son, I wish I could smash him into the wall?
Wish I could smash this thing.
Your own kid? Your blood and skin and bone? Somebody said, would you trust him to stay alone with your baby even for a minute? Or are you prepared to spend your nights not sleeping in fear of him acting on his anger? What exactly do you love in the person who thought about slamming your baby against the wall? Stole the baby from the hospital so that his mom did not drive 30 minutes to see the kid? Not so at all, but if you allow that man back in your life and don't fight tooth and nail to keep his toxicity away from your child as much as possible, you will be a huge asshole. He needs therapy, anger management, and to cut off his toxic family to start with. For the time being, and from what you're describing, he is dangerous. Yes. I wouldn't feel safe. I do understand that loving someone who has these problems might seem so stupid and like how could you? But sometimes problems like these don't show up at the start of the relationship. Abusive relationships have a honeymoon period. Okay, it's a circle where it's evil, abusive, and then the honeymoon stage where he's sweet and kind and good. And then it goes back into a circle of abusive. And people usually stay in their abusive, horrible relationships because of that honeymoon phase, because they expect or hope that will last. But it never lasts. That last one was a lot, but let's see what else is on the menu for today. Am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my incarcerated husband after he admitted to sleeping with another man in prison? My 33 female husband, 36 male, and I had a great relationship prior to this, and we truly believed we could stay together when he got sentenced. Also, just wanted to preface this by saying that fake, he is straight. He's never mentioned being bi-curious, and he seems totally heterosexual to me. We'd been together for 7 years prior to his incarceration, drug-related charge, and he was sentenced to 3 years. So far, he's been in for 1.5 years, so only 1.5 years to go. I see him every Sunday for visitors' hours. We're usually just talking about old memories. I'll ask him how things are, he'll ask me how things are, then we'll hug and kiss and say our goodbye. Yesterday though, when I visited, he seemed off. I asked him what was wrong and he confessed that he'd been seeing another man in the prison and they've slept together.
This is so juicy.
Oh my god. I was a bit taken aback at first, kind of in shock. Yeah, girl, me too. But was trying to understanding on how it could have been difficult in prison. He explained how much he missed me and how difficult it'd been without intimacy. He reassured that it wouldn't happen again, but I don't know if I believe him. I have been keeping it together on my end and you don't see me cheating on anyone. Honestly, I still feel like I'm in shock, having a hard time processing everything. Am I the asshole for wanting a divorce? Girl, let me tell you right now, 8+ years, you're not the asshole for wanting a divorce, first of all. How weak of a man, okay, do you have to be to sleep not with another woman but another man? Your wife is out. Plenty of fish that she can choose from, right? And she's still staying faithful to you, right? You have your hand, okay, to keep you sorted, but instead you go and sleep with another man while you're incarcerated. You've already put a wedge in your life. Your actions caused a wedge in your life because they separated you and your wife, and then you go and f it up even more. Girl, you are not so your man. You may not think he's bi-curious or fully heterosexual or whatever you think he is, but baby girl, that is a bi-curious man. Definitely not the asshole. Let's see what people say. Not the asshole. Infidelity is always a cause for divorce. Exactly, girl. Not the asshole. Cheating is cheating. You also have missed intimacy, but as you say, you haven't been cheating. Biggest thing, if you don't divorce, is his exposure to various STIs. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. This man has no brain cells, like no brain cells at all. Not the asshole. Cheating and being unfaithful in any type of way is an instant toodaloo. And so if this happened to you, toodaloo, instant toodaloo. What is a toodaloo? Toodaloo, goodbye, farewell, see you soon. Toodaloo, 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 toodaloo. But not toodaloo, because we have some more to read. Am I the asshole for hooking up with a married woman and causing her divorce? Before we even get into the story, okay? First of all, if you knew, yes, you are the asshole. Second of all, she is married. She is the biggest asshole of them all. I, 21 male, have been hooking up with a woman, 32 female, for about 6 months. It started as something casual. We met through a mutual friend at a party, hit it off, and things escalated from there. I knew she was married already. You're an asshole. But she told me that she was in an unhappy marriage and was planning to leave her husband. How many movies have we seen like that? She made it sound like the divorce was already a done deal, so I didn't feel too guilty about it. You were 21 and she was 32. We continued seeing each other mostly late at night or during this time she said her husband was out of town. I'll admit, I was excited at first. I was young, she was older, and it felt like something was out of a movie. But things started getting serious, and then she began texting me constantly and wanting to spend more time together. She would vent about how terrible her husband was and how she couldn't wait to be free from him. A few weeks ago, her husband found out about us. He was devastated and immediately filed for divorce. She called me in tears, blaming me for everything! What? She said that if it weren't for me, her husband wouldn't have left her, and that now she has nowhere to go and nothing to her name. She even suggested that I should take responsibility and help her out since I ruined her life. Bitch, you ruined your own life. You ruined your own life. You had a husband, okay, that you never wanted to divorce, as you are portraying, and you decided to cheat on that husband. You are ruining your own life. Do not be blaming this on this kid. She has 2 kids, a 10-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. She claims that her husband is going to fight for full custody and that it's all my fault that her kids might end up living with him instead of her. She said that because of me, her life is falling apart and her children might not grow up without her mother around. Girl, it's your own fault. I'm so sorry. It is an awful move for him to have slept with her knowing that she was still married, but she did weave a web of lies for him to believe that she was quote-unquote basically divorced. But how are you going to sit here and tell this kid that he ruined your life? You are the older one in this situation. You are like 11 years older. You should have known right from wrong. He's freshly an adult. I feel bad about the situation, but I also think it's unfair for her to put all the blame on me. I never forced her to cheat, and I wasn't the one who filed for divorce. I'm also not in a position to support her financially or emotionally. I'm still trying to figure out my own life. Exactly. This woman had already her life figured out. She decided to f*** it up herself. I'm sorry, you are not the asshole. So am I the asshole for hooking up with a married woman and causing her divorce, knowing she has kids? No. Well, yeah. Wait. Hold on. First of all, you did not cause her divorce. I'm so sorry that she is making you feel like you have, or making you think that you have caused her divorce. You have not done any such thing. Second, you are the asshole for hooking up with her, knowing that she is married, knowing that she does have kids, knowing that you are not in a financial position to support them. But none of this is your fault, okay? She knew what she was doing. She had a perfect life, and she went and destroyed it. You were just a catalyst to what she had accomplished. Somebody said, yikes, I say it's about 2 weeks till you get the I'm pregnant and it's yours message. Oh my god, imagine. Someone said, people never cause to amaze me. Exactly, right? Like, she literally did this to herself, and now she's blaming you. Somebody else said, with that age gap, she went looking for someone younger who would buy her both, and now she's hoping she can keep you under her thumb. Block her and learn from the experience. Exactly. Nothing more, nothing less should be said.